Hey everybody! So many people have now asked me how I make my ginger ale that I thought I'd make a quick tutorial video for everybody. I'll write the recipe as well so you can read along. This is what it's gonna look like. Bottles and bottles filled with fizzy, yummy ginger drink. It's cheap, versatile, pretty easy to make once you get the hang of it. But the start is a little bit tricky, so if it doesn't work the first time, keep on going, keep on testing, and in the end, it'll work forever. It's sort of like a sourdough for the people who made that before. There are 2 steps that you need to do. First, you make a starter, and that one will stay with you for as long as you want to make ginger beer. And then you make the drink itself, and that you can just drink up again and again and again. So first I'll explain how we make the starter. Let's put these away. So the starter is nothing more than a growing place for the ginger yeast that we will use to ferment your ginger beer. So it's water, ginger, sugar, and then hopefully at some point, as you can maybe already see, you can get this little layer of yeast growing in the bottom. But before you're there, you need a jar, somewhere between 75 to a liter, I'd say. This is a liter, I think, and I fill it halfway, so half liter water. And then this step will take a couple of days before it works. So the first day you grate up about 2 teaspoons of ginger, and you add 4 teaspoons of sugar in your water. And then you stir gently. Use clean utensils. Always make sure your jar is very clean, because as soon as you have mold in here, then you're done for it, and you can start over. So make sure you have clean everything. The second day you do the same thing again. So 2 teaspoons of grated ginger and 4 teaspoons of sugar. And then the party starts, hopefully. So the third day, you need to do 2 things. First, you need to open your jar, and then you listen. And if everything has gone right, then you should hear a very soft, bubbly sound by now. This one has been going for a few weeks now, so this is definitely bubbling. But it's so soft that you shamefully can't hear it. So if it's bubbling, then I won't add any more ginger. If it's still not going, then you just add another 2 teaspoons of ginger. The second thing is that I taste it. So I get a clean spoon. And I taste it. And this is not sweet at all at the moment, because I haven't fed it today yet. So if you taste it and it doesn't taste sweet, you need to feed it some more. And I feed it with 2 teaspoons of sugar. 1, 2. And then with a clean spoon, you stir it. I prefer wooden spoons for this. I don't know if there is science behind this or anything. That's just how it is. There. And then I'm done for. If you taste it and it does taste sweet, then you don't need to add any more sugar, because then it's already sugary enough. And then you keep on going this process for another 5 days, something like that, until you can really see that you have this layer of yeast on the bottom, and that you're sure that it's bubbling not as much as like a normal soda would, but pretty decently stable bubbles. And then this is done. So then you make the drinks themselves, like these. So first, you put this away. First, you need the pot, and you cook up water, sugar, more grated ginger, and basically anything else you can think of. I tend to put a little bit of lemon in there always, and I'll tell you some variations that you can do in the end. So boil the water really quickly. It doesn't need to boil for long, it just needs to be, the sugar just needs to dissolve, and if you're adding other stuff then you might need to boil it a bit longer to get the flavors out of there as much as possible. Then you need an empty bottle, a clean bottle. I tend to rinse them with boiling water before, just to be sure. And then you add your starter, about 1 to 2 centimeters. Then you make sure this is cooled properly. I tend to strain everything I put in here so I get as clear liquid as possible. Other people like to have their ginger stay in there. I think it's a taste matter, so I see what you like best. Make sure this mixture that you've boiled is room temperature, I'd say, or even a bit colder. So have some patience before pouring it in, because otherwise you will kill the yeast that's in here. 2 things that you need to know when you're mixing your drinks. First, make sure you've mixed your starter so that the yeast is not just on the bottom but flowing around in the entire liquid, because otherwise you're just pouring off liquid and the yeast won't follow along. So you won't have any yeast in your drink. And the amount of sugar you add in here, at least 50 grams per liter. I'd say up to about 300 grams would be the max. The yeast will still be working, so we'll still be eating in the bottle. So a lot of the sugar that you put in will disappear in the end. So add a little bit more sugar than you want to have in your final drink, so it can disappear. Another very important thing when you're filling your bottle, make sure you leave enough space at the top, because otherwise your bottle will explode. This is making bubbles still, making carbon dioxide, which builds up around here. And it has been known to happen that when you uncork this, everything just sprouts out. Not a good day, because you're really cleaning a long time and you've lost most of your drink, which is a shame. Then this needs to stand for a while, which is the hardest part, because then you need to have patience. Not my strong point. So put this away in a dry and cool place, but not too cool, because otherwise the yeast will stop working. And every day you burp them, so you uncork them and then just recork them. And then I tend to turn them upside down once, just to make sure everything blends. So this one has been standing for a couple of days now. As you can see, bubbles have started building and the yeast layer is back. So this probably is done. Let's check. Let's see if we can hear it. Gently, gently. There. Nice. And then let's see if you can hear it. There. Fizzy ginger ale. So this this one's very done. It's very, very active. So this one will go in the fridge right now. It's a bit pink because I've put rhubarb lemonade in here. Homemade by a friend of mine. It's really, really good. I like mixing my ginger with rhubarb. Boil rhubarb, strain it, and just use the water that the rhubarb has been boiling in instead of regular water, for example. Another variation is that you can put in, when you're cooking, a couple of pine needles. I tend to put in like 3, 4, 5, just fresh from the tree or dried. I tend to pick them like early summer, late spring, and then dry them and use them the rest of the year. It's really raisiny. It combines really well with the ginger. Another variation you can do is basically any lemonade you can think of, you can put in here. A friend of mine gave me a tip about cinnamon and cloves, which is really nice in like autumn when it starts to get chilly outside. Even though it's a soda, it tastes really warm. And it's really nice. I still want to try mint one day. I have a feeling that's going to be really nice. I just haven't gotten around to it. When I do, I will let you know. And seriously, do not try honey. I figured ginger and honey go very well together. They don't. Not in here. It was disgusting. So no, don't do that. And there you have it. Quick and simple. First you make a starter, that takes a couple of days. Then you make the drink, that takes a couple of days more. But in a week and a half, you have your homemade ginger ale. And this starter you can use again and again and again. Just keep adding water and sugar every time you use it, and feed it every day, every other day when it's going like this. So, good luck. Let me know how it turned out and if it was good.